Alright, so give this a second so we can see if we're going live yet. Looks like there's still a bit of delay here, so we will have to see what this delay is going on for. Looks like there's quite a while. Oh, that's a long delay. So we're gonna have to figure out why there's still a 30-second delay there. We got rid of that delay, but thank you for watching tonight. Welcome to the channel. My name's BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to help you make gains, whether the price is going up or down. Sorry, got a little caught off guard, trying to start the flow a little different than normal. But over on the Dixie for the daily, we are starting to push up. We did try to make a bullish engulfing candle. We did mention that we could see a bounce up here, and that could help push us up. We do have a reversal arrow, and we did stop short of a bullish engulfing candle. So if we follow this with some red candles, we could see a rejection away from here, and that would be positive for crypto. But we're going to want to see how those lower time frames look. It looks like my chat's also not showing up for some reason too, so a few weird things going on here apparently. But stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is trying to bounce, so I would watch if that stochastic can maintain bullish strength. RSI could continue forward and help push price action up. That momentum, our blue wave, does want to push forward here. Remember, this is on market cipher B. That VWAP is trying to make a bounce off neutral. So if that VWAP can make a bounce, we will have a higher low, and we could try to make a higher high. If we can get the higher low with the higher high, we could have a bullish trend that would push momentum higher, that blue wave, and then our money flow, our green wave, could push up, showing people are buying more on the dollar index than they are on other assets. Over on the 4-hour here, RSI does look like it wants to start to curl away. Our stochastic is starting to kind of taper off. VWAP is running up. Our momentum is gaining strength as a result, and the money flow wants to remain bullish. So if that VWAP can continue forward, our momentum could help push our money flow further into the bullish territory, and that would strengthen that daily. Over on the 2-hour, we are getting a little bit consolidation. This consolidation after a run up could create a bull flag. Remember, a bull flag can push you further. That could give us a push close to that 105 level. Since this breakup is very short, you wouldn't get much of a break up toward that area. We would probably stop short, then possibly pull back. Our stochastic does want to round away. Our momentum is rounding. RSI does want to lose strength. VWAP does have higher highs with higher lows, but now we're coming back down toward that neutral. So if we break that neutral, momentum will round away, and that money flow will start to weaken. Over on the 1-hour, we do have that same consolidation, so I would watch again. That could create a bull flag to help push us up, but we need our VWAP to start to favor more bullish. Right now, we are losing strength on that VWAP. Our stochastic and RSI want to come down. Momentum is rounding away, so overall, the bears are trying to gain some control here. And remember, if the bears do gain control of Dixie, that is good for crypto because they are inversely related, meaning if Dixie goes down, crypto typically would go up. So over on our total for the daily, we did get that kind of rejection that we warned against. RSI is pulling back. The stochastic does want to round away. VWAP is in the bearish territory. We do have consistent lows, and we're starting to round. If we get a lower high here, we could see a rejection and continue a bearish trend. That would cause that money flow to flip further into that bearish territory. Over on the 4-hour here, we did try to make a bounce here, so we could make a double bottom if we're lucky. A double bottom is where you get a drop, a rise, a drop, and then another rise, and that would take you further. You would measure that by making a neckline where your rises would be. They would be equal. Then you would go from your neckline down to your head, apply that to your neckline up, and that would give us a push right around that 699. So that could be above that 674, and that would be positive as that would help push the altcoins further. Remember, total does show the market cap of all the altcoins besides Ethereum. It also does not include Bitcoin. Stochastic does want to push down here. RSI is weakening as a result. We need this to reverse and stay more bullish if we're going to see that run up. Momentum is pulling back. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory, but it's trying to reverse and gain some bullish momentum. If it can make a bounce there, we may see money flow recover. However, if this VWAP continues to favor bearish, we are going to see a breakdown, and we could see the bottom of this golden pocket range of that Fibonacci retracement zone. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic does want to round away. We do have that orange above blue, but we're starting to get a bearish cross, so I would exercise caution. If that bearish cross does confirm, RSI could come lower, and we could break that support level, which would invalidate the double bottom possibility, and then we could see a breakdown instead. VWAP does have higher lows with higher highs, but it's struggling to break bullish. We need that VWAP to break bullish if our blue wave, that momentum, is going to push up, and that money flow, that red wave, is going to push up as well. Remember, if that VWAP favors more bearish here, we're going to see those higher time frames continue lower, and again, we could invalidate this double bottom. Stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is weakening. That VWAP does have higher lows, but again, we're struggling to break through bullish and hold. We need to break and hold if we're going to get a strong run up. Momentum does want to push up, but with that VWAP being indecisive, that momentum could easily stay in this oversold area, and money flow could start to weaken. Watch that VWAP very close. We need higher highs here with higher lows. If we don't continue those higher highs with higher lows, we likely will see that break down, and then we could push down possibly around that 612. And if we can't hold that 612 area, we can jump back to the daily. Our flag that we were in could have taken us down to our 508. So we could see a drop down all the way down there if we're not careful. But first, you would get hung up on that 300 EMA, which would be right around that 560 area. Remember that EMA is going to move up as price action moves with it. So over on Bitcoin dominance for the daily, we did get a little bit of a push down from this channel, so I would watch. We got about half the move down, but we are recovering. This could be positive, providing Bitcoin starts to actually gain strength. You don't want to see dominance just increase and Bitcoin dropping. That just means Bitcoin's doing better than altcoins as far as holding its value. Ideally, you want to see Bitcoin gain when dominance gains. But we did break out of our channel. We are making a retest right now. If we cannot break above and hold on the next couple candles, then it's very likely we would round away and break lower, possibly to that blue EMA level. Our stochastic does want to pull back. Momentum is rounding with the double red dot. That VWAP is starting to break down, so watch that VWAP if it breaks for a lower low, and then we see lower lows with lower highs. Momentum will continue lower, and our money flow will start to weaken. That would in turn make Bitcoin drop worse than our other coins, and we could see a bit of a correction. So over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we did break that point in control. We said we wanted to see that hold, otherwise we could see that drop near that 65.5. We did stop just at that 66.3, so we did say we want to hold at that level right around the Discord. If we can push up from here, that would be very positive. However, you want to watch the lower time frame, see if they're more bullish. Our momentum is pulling back, stochastic is dropping down, VWAP is favoring bearish, causing money flow to sell off. Overall, this daily doesn't look very positive. So over on the 4 hour, we did come down to that 300 EMA, but we got a bounce. So this could be positive. Again, that could create a double bottom. So that's where you get that drop, a rise, a drop, and a rise, and then you run up. And then you would draw from your neckline. So that's where your points are going to be connected. And then from your neckline down to your head and apply that from your neckline up. And that could give us a break right around 73.7. So we could see a new high, providing we continue to bounce from here and do not start to sell off. Stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is pulling back. VWAP is favoring bearish. Momentum's dropping and money flows bearish. So overall, if that does not reverse, we will reject that double bottom possibility and we could break our 65.5. Over on this 2 hour, we are trying to run up, but we're coming back down to fill this gap that we created when we tried to run up. So I would exercise caution. If we cannot bounce after filling that gap, we will see the bears gain control. However, if we can make a bounce and hold above that 300 EMA, that would be where we could see this double bottom take us up to past that 72K, right around that 72.66. VWAP does have consistent lows and it's trying to break that neutral. If we see VWAP reject here, momentum will remain bearish, money flow will continue to sell off and weaken those higher time frames. Over on the 1 hour here, stochastic and RSI are pretty flat overall. VWAP is trying to break bullish, momentum does want to push, but that VWAP does look a little indecisive. We do have higher highs, we do technically have higher lows as well, but this higher high isn't very strong right now. So if it doesn't gain significant strength, we can still see momentum remain bearish and money flow would pull back and we would still see a sell off. Watch that VWAP very close over the next couple candles. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we did break away from our flag. Again, this could be a whale manipulation move down. Remember, they do manipulate you one way and another to try and make you think your pattern may not play out. But I would watch if we continue to favor bearish on lower time frames, then we will get that breakdown just like futures. RSI is pulling back, stochastic's dropping down, momentum is pushing into the bearish territory, VWAP has lower lows with lower highs. So overall, we do have bearish trends on the 1 hour, 1 day, and if those lower time frames don't gain strength, they could start to gain some strength on there as well. Meaning the bears, if the bears gain strength, we are going to see that corrective move down. So we are coming up on the 4 hour to retest our 300 EMA, but we're struggling. If we cannot break that EMA and hold, it's very likely we would sell off, make that break toward our 63.1 and possibly lower. Stochastic does want to pull back, RSI is starting to drop down, VWAP does have lower lows with lower highs, momentum is dropping and the money flow wants to break due to that VWAP favoring bearish, so I would watch that VWAP close. If it continues a bearish trend here, we will continue lower. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a bit of a rising channel, maybe a rising triangle. It's kind of hard to tell. We do have consistent tops with rising bottoms. That's a characteristic of a rising triangle that would try to push you up. But if we continue to move more sideways, then we could create a rising channel that would bring you down. RSI is flat, stochastic wants to round away. VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is trying to push up, but overall it's dropping down. So if that VWAP does not get higher high with higher lows, we will see momentum continue lower and money flow will continue to sell off. Over on the 1 hour here, we do have quite a bit. So this would be more of a rising triangle that would be a little more defined. That rising triangle, since it's so small, would take us back into our channel and that's about it. So if we can get that break up and hold, that would be positive. That could help push us up. However, if we try to run up, get rejected and push down, or we start to push down from here, we're likely going to visit that 63K. RSI does want to pull back, stochastic is starting to round away, momentum is favoring bearish, and the VWAP does want to break bullish. Overall, we did come down to this consolidation range, and we did make that push. So as long as we can continue to push, we can gain bullish strength. However, if we do continue to push, we need to hold above that 300 EMA, if we're going to get bullish breakouts. If we can't hold above that EMA, we're likely going to lose it and break lower. So I would still exercise caution and watch the lower time frames. We do look a little indecisive. We're going back and forth. It's giving me whiplash just to watch. But over on the daily for graph, stochastic does want to run up. RSI is starting to break down due to that stochastic or double line favoring more bearish. As that stochastic favors bearish, that RSI, that red line, will come down and bring price action lower. So we did have a pattern here on the lower time frames. We'll jump to the 1 hour just so we can see it. That was that cup and handle possibility. We did say we needed to run up and break that neckline if you're going to see any kind of breakout. We did try to run up, then we went flat and broke down. So when you start consolidating sideways, that could be a sign your cup and handle may not play out. So we will delete that just so the daily looks a little cleaner. And then we'll jump to the daily and do our TA from there and move back to the 1 hour. Overall, we did pull back to that 250 EMA. RSI is pulling back. Stochastic does want to round away. Momentum is favoring bearish. Our VWAP has lower lows and it's struggling to break the neutral. If that VWAP does not break through and get a bullish trend with higher highs and higher lows, momentum will continue to favor bearish and that money flow will continue to weaken, which would result in everyone selling more than they're buying. Over on this 4 hour here, our momentum is starting to round away, stochastic's dropping down. We do have a bearish divergence here, which is bringing us lower. RSI is weakening, VWAP is breaking down after trying to get a bullish run up. So I would watch for a lower high. If we get a lower high with this lower low, we could start a new bearish trend, which would cause momentum to drop down and money flow could continue to sell off. Again, if you're just joining, I can't see chat, so if you're saying anything in chat, I'm not ignoring you. Thanks for watching. But over on the 2 hour, stochastic is dropping down, RSI is pulling back, momentum is dropping as well, VWAP is attempting to break bullish, but we're struggling to get over that neutral. If we can't get over that neutral, momentum will remain bearish and money flow will weaken those higher time frames. Over on the 1 hour here, we are overall pushing down. Stochastic's dropping down, RSI is pulling back, momentum is heavy in the bearish territory, and our VWAP's kind of zigzagging along that neutral. If that VWAP cannot gain some bullish strength, it's likely we will see it break down, momentum would remain bearish, and money flow would break with it. If we zoom in, we do have some weak highs, and we are trying to favor a little bearish here. If we cannot get stronger highs and continue a bullish trend, we will see that VWAP break down, push momentum in the bearish territory. It really can't go lower than it is right now, and that money flow would break down. That would result in those higher time frames to start to sell off. So over on Ankr for the daily, we don't look too much different than everything else. So we did try to break the 40.49. We got rejected, and we are pulling back to that 37.67. So that's not very positive. If we can't hold above this level, we could see a continued sell-off. RSI and Stochastic are dropping. VWAP is favoring bearish. Momentum has lower lows with lower highs, and money flow is selling off. So overall, the daily doesn't look very positive. And if it doesn't reverse, we could see a continued sell-off, possibly breaking that 34.85 and possibly pushing down toward the bottom of the Fibonacci range. So I would exercise caution there. Stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is weakening. Our VWAP did try to get a bullish run, but then it broke down. If we cannot solidify a higher low, then run up for consistent highs, momentum will continue to pull back, and that money flow will break down, and we will see that daily sell off more. However, if that VWAP can get above that neutral and start to favor with consistent highs and higher lows, we could see that 4 hour push up. Stochastic does want to push away here on the 2 hour. RSI is dropping down as a result. VWAP is favoring bearish. We do have lower highs with lower lows, so we have a bearish trend causing momentum to drop, and that money flow does want to break down as well. So overall, we don't look very positive there. Again, we need that VWAP to create a bullish trend with higher highs and higher lows if we're going to push up from there. Over on the 1 hour, we do have bullish divergence on Stochastic. That is that double line that is positive. That could help run us forward, but I would exercise caution. Overall, we don't look too positive. We could have a descending channel here if we're lucky. So remember, a descending channel, it does sound bad, but a descending channel does break you forward. We cover that in the Mastering the Trade playlist. We do have 2 touches to the bottom. So if we pull back, make it bounce and continue forward, we could try to get above that 37.67. And if we can hold that, we could continue forward. I would just exercise caution and watch for a lower low. If we get a lower low outside of this channel, then it's very likely we could continue lower from there, as that would be more of a bearish continuation channel. Then remember, a bearish continuation channel, the highs and lows don't connect. A descending channel, they do. Stochastic wants to pull back. RSI is weakening as a result. VWAP is zigzagging around, not sure where it wants to go. Momentum is just as indecisive, and the money flow is remaining bullish. Overall, the VWAP does have higher lows right now. We did try to get some higher highs, so what you want to see is a stronger high here. If we get a stronger high followed by a higher low that does not break that neutral, we could create a bullish trend. That bullish trend would then strengthen the higher time frames. However, if that VWAP does get a weak high again, and then we see a lower low, it's likely momentum will remain bearish, money flow would break down, and then those higher time frames would continue to sell off. So over on XRP here, we are rejecting our channel again, so exercise caution. This is a bearish engulfing candle. Sorry about that. Got that cut off. There you go. So that is a bearish engulfing candle. That bearish engulfing candle is where you get a red candle that's as big or bigger than the green candle before it. RSI is pulling back. Stochastic does want to drop down. That VWAP does have higher lows, so watch that VWAP. If it can get a higher high and break through that neutral, that would be positive. That would push momentum higher, and money flow could recover. However, watch the lower time frames. If they favor more bearish, that's not likely going to happen. Over on the 4 hour here, Stochastic is dropping down. We do have that orange above blue, causing that bearish cross and making us drop down, weakening RSI and bringing price action lower. VWAP is breaking as well. We did try to run up into the bullish territory just like everything else, then we got rejected just like the rest of the market. Momentum is dropping down, and the money flow does want to break down. So if that VWAP cannot get a bullish trend, we likely will continue lower from here. Over on the 2 hour, we did reject our EMAs. We tried to come up to our channel, then we made a rounding top, and that rounding top has sold us off ever since. We could try to create a descending channel. This descending channel may try to push us up, but again, I wouldn't count on it unless the rest of the market can push forward. We are holding these support levels, so we do have the chance to push up. Real quick, we do have a chat, so Bill, thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you're still with us. Hope you're having a great day. But VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is dropping down, and our money flow does want to remain bullish. If that money flow cannot continue to push up with our VWAP, we likely will sell off and invalidate that channel possibility. Over on the 1 hour here, RSI is pulling back, stochastic's dropping down. Our VWAP does have higher lows, but we're struggling for higher highs. If that VWAP cannot get higher highs and favor more bullish from here, then it's likely momentum would remain bearish and money flow will continue to sell off. Again, that would invalidate that channel, possibly pushing us back toward our 45 area and our 38 area if we're not careful. So over on ALGO for the daily, we did start to break down again, so exercise caution. This breakdown could bring us somewhere around that 1350 level. RSI is pulling back as stochastic is favoring bearish. VWAP has lower lows and is struggling to break for a higher high. If we reject here, we will have more bearish favor. That bearish favor will take us lower. Momentum is dropping down. Nice to see you, Bill. It only tells me I have one viewer, and that's myself apparently watching to make sure everything's going. So hope you're having a great day. And let me know if we have any issues. You've been a real help for that. I decreased the bitrate a little, so hopefully it's a little smoother of a channel right now. Momentum is pushing down. VWAP is favoring bearish, and the money flow is pulling back. So I would exercise caution. If that VWAP cannot break up, we likely will reject here. So over on the 4 hour, we do have continued lows with lower highs. So this could make a descending triangle rather than our bear flag, but a descending triangle is the same kind of bearish pattern. That's where you get these flat bottoms with those sloping tops, and then you would measure from your top to your bottom to get your breakout and apply that down toward your peak. And that could give us a similar breakdown right around that 1439. We do have that 1412 area, so we could be anywhere in between here. Stochastic does want to drop down. RSI is weakening. That VWAP does want to break down. We do have a rejection after trying to run up, just like much of the rest of the market. Momentum is dropping. So overall, we don't look very bullish on the 4 hour, and I would exercise caution. Over on this 2 hours, RSI is pulling back. VWAP did try to break bullish, but we're rejecting. Momentum's dropping as a result, and the money flow is starting to continue to sell off. So if that VWAP does not break for a higher low and then get a higher high above that zero, it's likely we would sell off from here, possibly breaking out of our channel early. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic is dropping down. RSI is starting to sell off as a result. VWAP does have lower consistent lows. We did try to break for a higher high, but that higher high could be invalidated if we get these lower lows with lower highs. That would cause momentum to sell off and money flow could break down. Thank you all for watching tonight. Hope you have a great night. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm going to hang out a bit until I see that this is done, because apparently we still have that 30-second delay even though I got rid of it. And now we got people with fart cans going by apparently too. Alright, I'll have to see what's going on then, Bill. Thanks for letting me know.